Hi, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday, so it's time for a new vlog. This week, we had another dev Q&A. This one snuck up on me. For whatever reason, I didn't realize this one was coming, although I'm sure they advertised it through all the normal channels. But they did another dev Q&A. I'm gonna hit all the points that stood out the most to me. The first one that had the most immediate consequences basically adds up to Rest in Peace World Quest Group Finder. They talked about the recent issue that's been happening where there has been server lag, like zone lag, typically in an invasion zone or in the Broken Shore. They say that those difficulties were caused by add-ons that use the group finder. They didn't name World Quest Group Finder, but that's pretty much what they were talking about. And in order to fix those issues, because when you run into a shard like that, the game is pretty much unplayable. They have made some immediate changes to what add-ons they're able to do in regards to the group finder. So they basically just require a couple more user clicks to actually get you into a group, which wouldn't be the end of the world. The thing that makes it slightly more the end of the world is that the add-on author of World Quest Group Finder has gone on record saying that this is the end of World Quest Group Finder for him. He does not want to update it. He says that this rule change has just broken what made World Quest Group Finder great, and he is not going to continue with the project. So pretty much if you used World Quest Group Finder, you may as well just uninstall it and just go back to life as normal. It's a little bit sad. I had a sad morning today trying to do my World Quest without World Quest Group Finder because I've gotten so used to just clicking the button and getting in a group. But it was really frustrating ending up on somebody's realm that it was just crashing. And as it turns out, it's not so hard to do World Quest A by yourself. And secondly, what's up, cat? And secondly, it's not actually all that hard to find a group with the group finder without World Quest Group Finder. Blizzard UI has since added a feature that I didn't check out because I had World Quest Group Finder, but they've added a feature where you can right click on any quest that you're tracking, any world quest that's like active, and then search for a group automatically of that name. It wasn't working for me. That was just like endlessly spinning, but I was able to just go look for groups normally, and I was still doing that for some of the elite quests. There's a lot of quests that are still way faster in a group, and there's nothing wrong with getting into the group finder and finding a group to do your world quest and then leaving once you're done, just like before. And I think that's probably the way I'm gonna go. So it's the end of an era. It was a great add-on. I'm sad to see it go, but I understand why they did it, and I'm glad that those problems are going to be fixed going forward. However, I think that, the kitty, what's up? I like cats. Especially this one. I completely forgot what I was talking about, but anyways, a couple of things that they said in the Q&A. One of them, Tuma Sargeras is not going to be the final raid in Legion. In 7.3, we're going to be going to Argus, and there will be another raid zone on that tier. There will be another tier on that zone. There will be a raid tier in that zone. There's going to be stuff to do. There's going to be stuff to do on Argus in 7.3, including a new raid. So we're not done with Legion yet. I would assume that that would be the final raid of the expansion, and after that they would move on to something new, but I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the pacing of Legion so far relative to what we had to deal with in Warlords. I think they have a good amount of content. I think that we are on a good patch pacing. It almost feels a little bit quick, but that's fine. I really appreciate the speed at which they've been getting the next patch up on the PTR after the current one launches, and that's been way faster than it used to be. And I'm excited to see where we go next after Legion's over. They have said, they did say in the Q&A that they're aware that the Broken Shore in particular had some pacing issues, and it would often feel like there wasn't much to do, even though this was a huge patch and they added a lot of stuff to do, because so many of the things that they added to do were in class-specific campaigns. You know, only 1/12 of the player base could access any given part of them, so it's occurred to them now that's not the best idea. They're going to be cutting back on class-specific quests going forward because it's content that not that many people can access unless they have alts, and let's face it, Legion is not the most friendly alt expansion, so that's good to hear. I did like the class-specific stuff, but I would totally rather have 12 times as many things to do that are not class-specific than, you know, 4 quests that are class-specific, and then you're done. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Other things in the Q&A, heirloom upgrades are planned for 7.2.5, so you are going to be able to upgrade your heirlooms to scale all the way to 110, which is going to be kind of nice. I have been thinking about leveling a warlock alt just for fun, just because that thought crosses my mind every now and then, just because they look kind of cool. But every time I log on to an alt that's not my priest, especially a DPS alt, if it's a high level alt, I don't get this problem so much when I make like a low level alt, but if it's high level, I run into this issue where I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good about all this because I don't have everything set up like on my priest, on my shadow priest. I have had years to set up everything exactly the way I want. I know exactly where each button is best ergonomically suited. I know what all my buttons do. I know where they all are. I know which ones I should use when. And I log on to a level 100 Warlock that I haven't played in 2 expansions, and all of a sudden I don't know what any of that stuff is. I just have a bunch of buttons and I'm pressing them, and sometimes they do damage and sometimes they don't. And I have no idea what I'm doing, and I really hate not knowing what I'm doing. So instead of sticking with it and actually learning what's going on and getting things set up, I'm more inclined to just quit and go back to my main. And I think that's the one thing that's really locked me into playing one character in Legion, aside from artifact power and whatever, has been, I just feel really comfortable in my Shadow Priest. I'm really happy with where Shadow Priest design is. I feel like I can play it reasonably well. And I like it. It's comfy. Everything is in my spot. It's like, playing an alt is like trying to drive somebody else's car, or, you know, get ready for work at somebody else's house, or it's like they might have all the same stuff, but it's just not the same, and we're old and we don't like change. They talked about removing the Exalted with Armies of Legion-Fall requirement from the class mount requirement. So that's something that's been done now. You will no longer need to be Exalted with the Armies of Legion-Fall in order to unlock your class mount. And at first I was like, well, why would they do that? I'm already Exalted and the thing's not going to be out for another like 8 weeks. But then it occurred to me that people that have and play alts, it would be a real pain to try and grind all the way to Exalted in every single one of them just to be able to get their class mount. So I kind of see why they've done it from that perspective. However, I think a better fix would be, and I know this is a pretty big change that they've been discussing about and kind of resistant to for a while, but I would love it if they would just make reputations account-wide. You can come up with a lore reason why all these related characters are Exalted with all the same people. I don't personally find anything fun about grinding factions to Exalted multiple times. That's not exactly rewarding gameplay to me. Getting Armies of Legion-Fall reputation is not going to be any more fun in a Warlock than it was in a Shadow Priest. And I don't see any good reasons why they can't just make reps account-wide. That would solve a lot of problems. Things like, there's toys that you have in your toy box that you can't use because they require certain rep, and maybe you got that on a character that was Exalted with the Tillers, but you haven't gone back and done that. You just can't use that toy. It would just be so nice to have reps be account-wide. I don't see why they can't be. And I think that would be a better solution than removing the Exalted requirement. Because if you're doing the Legionfall campaign and you're doing some Broken Shore World quests once in a while and turning in some war supplies, you're probably going to be Exalted long before we're able to unlock a class mount. So unless you're playing super casually, that wasn't going to affect you. Unless you played alt, but I'd like to know what you guys think about if they should make reps account-wide. Would you like that? Would that be something that is disappointed to you? Maybe you grinded reps on a bunch of characters, you'd feel kind of cheated. I'm curious about opinions, so leave those in the comments. What else? In the office, you might have noticed, we're all fancy over here. I got my new canvases in and I got them all hung up. There is off camera one more because I didn't measure like my available space. I could probably get more if I moved this desk back towards the wall, but then the lights, it's just not a very big room. So the short story is that I do have a Warlords of Draenor canvas hung up on the other side of that bookcase that you can't see because I can't measure, and that's okay. There isn't a Wrath one. A lot of people have been like, hey, where's the Wrath one? They didn't sell one. It wasn't even on the gear store, let alone on sale. So I guess maybe they just sold out of those, or maybe they stopped making them, or maybe the Lich King like stormed into the HQ and took them all back. Who knows? But I got the canvases hung up. There's also a couch back there, you will notice. My cat, this cat, hello. This cat and the dog both like sleeping back there, so it's kind of like having a really big pet bed in my office. And it's good. I like it. I think it's feeling a lot more cozy now. I really like having a second place to sit in my office. Don't ask me why, but sometimes I just like to, if I'm working on something that I can work on a laptop or even on a tablet, sometimes it's nice to move 2.5 feet away from my desk and sit in a couch. Don't ask me why. What else? We did the first test baking stream last week. The VOD of that is now available on the channel. If you want to learn how to make my double chocolate cookies, you can learn how to make them. They're, spoiler alert, it's barely even baking. You have to measure very little. They are by far the easiest thing I've ever baked in my life, and you should totally do it. It was definitely a success. I had a lot of fun. I can't wait to do another one of those every month. And if you are supporting me on Patreon and you have not yet voted, there are 2 days left on the poll that is deciding what I make next on the official May Patreon baking stream. So anybody on any tier can vote in those. Currently, I believe the Conjured Mana Strudels are winning, but they are very closely followed by the Brewfest Pretzels. So if you have an opinion, then please go express that. It's just on the regular Patreon page. If you are a Patreon supporter, you'll be able to vote on that. I haven't picked an exact date for it. I will pick the date after we have picked what we're going to make, but I'm really excited for it for another reason, and that is, okay, so I was watching the VOD of the test stream, and I was like, well, this was fun. We had a bunch of people there. We had a good time. We had a chat. But this video looks awful. It's not the worst thing. You can see me and you can see the stuff I'm cooking, but it's webcam footage. It's webcam footage in a kitchen that's very hard to light properly. So it looks grainy, it looks fuzzy, the colors are all off. It's just not very good. And I was watching that and I was like, I can't live like this. I have some money saved up. I'm just gonna do it. So I ordered myself, and it's not here yet. This is just recorded on the regular webcam, but I ordered myself a camera. It is a sort of like mid-level beginner DSLR, and it's going to get here tomorrow. And I'm very, very excited about it. I'm gonna take the weekend to try and learn what it does and how to use it. But I have the camera, the tripods. I got a couple of extra softbox lights to try and light that kitchen properly. Maybe I can turn off the overhead that's too bright and I'll figure it out. But basically, I want to make the cooking streams look better. The vlogs will also look better because I'll be able to record this weekly vlog with the better camera once I have it here and set up. Streams, same thing. I think I'll be able to get it set up for my stream cam. So just higher resolution video all around. And really high res, super fancy pictures of this cat once I learn how to take them, because, you know, what do people buy cameras for if they can't take pictures of their cat? Especially this cat. She's got really fluffy ears. I don't know if you know that. It's kind of hard to see when it's just like a webcam footage, but I will one day show you how fluffy her ears are. Questions this week. Ted asks, do they sell cats on the Blizzard store now? So unfortunately, you can't buy a cat like this one. But you can get yourself Mischief the Fell Kitty. I'm not sure if you meant the digital store or the gear store, but you can do both. You can see there on the bottom shelf on the right. Yeah, right as you guys are looking at it. Bottom shelf on the right. You can see Mischief the Fell Kitty sitting there. That is the plush. And of course, there's an in-game pet to go along with that. So you can, in fact, buy cats on the Blizzard store. But it's not going to be as nice as this one, because this is just the nicest cat. Austria 1991 asks, which is your least favorite class and spec? So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out a disclaimer. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here. There's gotta be a bottom of every list. And my list does in fact have a bottom. So least favorite class and spec. This is just personally, like, as far as I find gameplay wise, I totally respect that other people enjoy every class and spec, but I never clicked with Death Knights. I have level 100 characters of every class except Death Knights. And it bugs me because they have pets now. They have whelps that I would need to have a Death Knight in order to get. But yeah, I never clicked with Death Knights. And then if I had to pick my least favorite Death Knight spec, I think it's like a tie between Frost and Blood. Unholy is kind of cool because I've always liked pet specs. Pet specs have always been cool, and I like the whole exploding corpse thing because that's just funny. But yeah, probably Frost. Nothing about Frost DK ever particularly appealed to me. Maybe that's the real reason why I don't have a Wrath of the Lich King poster up there. But yeah, Frost Death Knight's probably bottom of my list. I don't have anything specific against them. I just never found them fun enough to play, and that's saying something considering how much of an alcoholic I used to be. Darren Mitchell asks, hi, I use the same pet add-ons that you do, but when there's an update to the game, oftentimes my teams go missing. Is there a way to save that information? You have more pets than I do, and it's a nightmare for me to redo all my teams, so I can only imagine how much it would suck for you. So, that's never happened to me. Like I said, we're probably using the same add-ons. We're probably using Rematch, and I use Pet Journal Enhanced, but Rematch is what saves all my pet teams. I have never, ever, ever had them deleted. However, if that is happening to you, and just in general as good WoW safety, if you will, please, 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 please back up your WTF and interface folders. Those contain your add-on settings of everything. If you have a UI that is medium to complex and you have to reinstall WoW from like a reformatted computer, or your computer fries, you need to get a brand new one, please back up your WTF and interface folders. Just copy them, make a copy of those folders, and either put them in the cloud or on a USB flash drive or both. Back them up to as many places as you can, and then once every like month or 2 months or 3 months, I do mine every 3 months. I actually have a reminder set on my phone. Update that backup because you have probably made changes to your add-on settings. But what that means is that if an update comes out and all your pet teams are gone, you can then go and replace your interface and WTF folders with your most recent backup, and that should restore your pet teams because all of that add-on settings info is stored in those folders. So you want to back those up, regardless of whether you use pet add-ons or not. Please back up those folders because it will save your life if you ever need to reformat your PC, or if anything corrupts, or you just do it. It's a good idea. It has saved my butt more than once. I've also had to reformat without having them, and starting from scratch is awful. Terrible, awful, do not recommend. Last question, Golden Creeper asks, hey Hazel, what made you want to primarily play as a gnome and not a different race? So, my priest was not actually always a gnome. I was a human priest from creating it in MoP all the way up to Blackrock Foundry. I was a human priest, and then I think, was it Blackrock Foundry, or did I do it in Legion? I might have done it in Legion. I don't remember when I race changed, but I race changed from human to gnome, and the reason for that is gnomes get haste. And Shadow Priests love haste. Haste is better for Shadow Priest than it is for pretty much any other spec, I think. It's real good, and I wanted the haste. I was trying very hard to min-max my DPS, and we were trying, I think we were on progression, and I was just grasping for any little thing I could do. Plus, gnomes are cute, and I was like, gnomes are cute, I can totally play a gnome, so I race changed a gnome. And it has been growing on me ever since. I love her animations, I love her dance, I love my pink ponytail. I never really changed that. I love that pink ponytail. And I just think I changed for the haste and I stayed for the, she's a gnome, she's super cute. I don't know what else to say about that. Anyways, that has been my week. If any of you have any questions you would like answered on the vlog, leave comments on the most recent vlog. Don't forget, if you support me on Patreon, go to the Patreon page to vote if you have not done so already. And when I have a date picked out for the next baking stream, I will advertise that information on Twitter, Facebook, and I will probably mention it in a vlog as well. So I'm going to make that super public so everybody knows when the stream will happen. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye. Want to say bye? Want to say bye? Bye. Are you mad?